What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Mafia Midway, your midweek Buffalo Bills therapy session. Man, I couldn't wait to get the show going, Jake, because, you have the bye week. There's nothing going on the weekend for the Buffalo Bills. Lots of other football if you're interested in that, which we are. But, yeah, you missed that Bills game. We got a lot of good things to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the latest news related to the Buffalo Bills, including injuries. We got that trade deadline approaching November 4th. Brandon being quiet so far. Then we're going to talk about things like should OCs and DCs, offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, be on the sideline or up in the booth. What's your thoughts? Want the chat to chime in there as well. We're going to talk a little bit about what the big media outlets have been saying about the Buffalo Bills during our bye week. So we'll take on their comments and see what we have to say about that. Then anything else that comes our way on this episode. And Jake, you weren't able to join us on the inaugural episode, but I'm glad to have you back for episode 2. How you doing, my friend?
Doing phenomenal, Mike. And by the way, the reason why I missed last week, it was a valid reason. I was out supporting our Buffalo Sabres.
Yes.
Kind of propelling them on a little bit of a winning streak. Then they kind of blew it. But hey, I think the team's playing a little more motivated hockey. It was the best Sabres game I think I've been to in maybe, 10 or so years. It was awesome. I got to go with Big Al, who's in the chat right there.
Yeah.
We had one heck of a time. It was him, my good buddy Anthony, and then his buddy Kevin. And God, it was great. We were right behind the side where they shoot twice behind the actual net there. So it was awesome. Just incredible experience.
Yeah, because they won that game. It was the first winning game, first game they won of the season. They won another one. Did they lose the third one? Did they?
They did. Yeah, they lost
short in the hat trick.
Yep.
Yeah, because I was saying, like, once Jake feels like there's this, he's the good luck charm, we may not see him. Like, might be going to all Buffalo Sabre games because that's just the type of guy he is.
That's right. You got to do it.
You and Sean are going to be going to the Chiefs game in Buffalo.
We will be.
In a few weeks. I think that's on November 2nd, is it?
Yep.
You guys will be there. So, again, I think are you undefeated with him, you and Sean?
We are. Knock on wood. We are undefeated.
Knock on wood.
Yes.
We're going to need that. We're going to need that for sure. Big Al, thanks for joining us. He says he likes that picture of you and I, Jake, on the thumbnail. He says you look younger in that picture, Mike. I'm like thinking I look younger here versus the picture, but Big Al, come on now, be a little kinder than that. But good to see you, Big Al. I hear you've been, living the life, and always happy that you and Mama Padre are getting to enjoy those golden years. I can't wait till I get there. Honestly. I want to mention today's episode is sponsored by Junglecat Radio, the best of the 80s, featuring radio personalities JJ McKenzie and Alan Roberts. The link to their station is in the description of the show. You can also download the Live 365 app on your phone. Doesn't matter which phone you have, Android, Apple, whatever, and just search up Junglecat Radio. Dude, best of the 80s. They're bringing radio back. I absolutely love it. If you're an 80s fan, you gotta get it. Gotta listen to this. It's great because I would drive about an hour to work, hour back sometimes when I'm in, and it's just so soothing. There's something special about radio, Jake. I don't know. You probably radios. You're like, what the heck's radio, Mike? I don't listen to radio. It's just better than Spotify and all those other apps that you can get your music from. But I love it. So Junglecat Radio, we really appreciate you sponsoring this episode. Big Al saying we are beating Detroit now. What's this? We're beating Detroit now.
I love it.
Oh, all right. Sabres.
That's
excellent,
beautiful. Yeah,
excellent.
I have been tuning in a little bit. I got it on the other screen here, so I'll give you live updates as we go.
So, Jake, believe it or not, I'm actually shocked at the, Vegas still trusting the Bills, giving us we're 7.5 point road favorites. That's a little surprising to me. I don't think we've covered many of our games this year.
I know.
Right? We probably covered, did we cover the Ravens? We were probably, we're slight favorites. In that game.
Yes.
Yeah,
or did we? Were we favorites in that game? I don't think we were.
I think we were. I think because obviously we were like, I think we were.
We didn't cover then. We didn't cover.
So I don't know if we have covered.
Yeah.
7.5 point favorites against the Panthers seems a little aggressive. What's your thoughts on that?
It is. I mean, considering the fact that they are a 4-3 team who's on a 3-game winning streak, I think the biggest thing they got going for that spread is the fact that Bryce Young won't be playing, but they got the Red Rifle coming in to sling the rock. I mean, what he can do with some actual weapons now too. Look out. I wouldn't put any doubt in the Red Rifle there.
Well, the Red Rifle, let's let people know that's Andy Dalton.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Andy Dalton's had a pretty good success rate against the Buffalo Bills. I think I saw it's 4-2 potentially. I think I might be wrong.
Sounds
there.
right. Yeah. And don't forget, right? I mean, Andy Dalton, forever indebted to that guy, considering the fact that he propelled us into the playoffs in 2017.
Yeah, exactly. So there's some love there from the Mafia, right? There's some love for Andy. So right. Interesting. All right. Yeah. And then Troy Gregory. Troy, you haven't joined us in a long time. Thanks for coming out here, my friend. Good to see you. Got Trey out there. Trey saying, I'm here for Jake's positivity. Let's go. Does
Hell yeah, Trey.
Brady get revenge on the team that fired him? What's your thoughts there?
Absolutely. Yeah, I know. What has it been? Like the last 3 weeks, we've been saying like, hey, this is a get right week. This is a get right week. This is finally going to be a get right week. And I think we'll be feeling a lot better and a lot more positive going into that Chiefs game the following week. So I have good vibes coming into this one. I don't know what it is. There's just something that feels right. Sometimes you go into these Bills games and you're like, I don't know. It just, there's something off, right?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm over positive. Maybe I'm too much one way. I think right now I'm trying to be realistic, but also I just feel good about this, Mike. I think the Bills are going to travel well. The fans are going to travel well to Charlotte. There's a ton of transplants out there in Charlotte as it is. So it's going to be a nice win. And we will cover.
Mafia traveling is always a guarantee. You can guarantee that all the time. Take it to the bank. For me, Jake, I try to be positive, but like Big Al, being a fan of over 50 years and having our heart broken so many times, you put up defense mechanisms, right? You start thinking, all right, if I talk, if I don't talk so positively, it won't hurt me as much if they lose. But let's be real, they're 4-2, and here we are concerned. We should have some concerns. I think a lot of us do, based on how they played the last two games and based on how they had been playing. But we've been here before, and 4-2 is nothing compared to a couple of years ago. And hopefully you're right. Hopefully they've done something in the bye week to right the ship. So we'll find out. Big Al, we definitely will talk about this number one receiver. It's one of our topics this week. Brandon Beane's been extremely quiet. We'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about, looking back at the Amari Cooper move back in 2023. How do we feel about that now? And if we did something similar, would the same thing happen? We'll talk about that. And then we got Big Chad, the Chief. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you out there as always. We appreciate you. And then we got Weston joining us. Hey, Weston, thank you for joining us. So a couple updates on the Bills. So this is from Matt Perino from the Buffalo Shout. I'm going to give him the props here. Without Jake and I being beat writers, and now Jake, you're only 5 minutes from the stadium. I feel like there's opportunity for you to kind of get a fake press badge, get in there. I feel like you could do this. And heck, you look like Josh Allen. Why wouldn't they let you in? You got two options: dress like Josh, or going with the press pass, buddy. I think we got to make that happen.
You know what? I've had an opportunity to be behind the scenes a little bit there. Back when I worked for the University of Buffalo, we got to do a couple practices there in the field house and whatnot. We got to tour the weight room and all that stuff, and it was pretty cool. But I'll tell you what, Mike, it is highly secure.
Yeah.
So you can't just walk in there as your average Joe Schmo and hope that you're going to get credentials and all that stuff. So I don't know. They might turn around and be like, hey, you can maybe pass, maybe you got the Josh Allen look, whatever. There's no chance, though. I don't see it happening, unfortunately. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to leave it to the beat writers, man. I don't know if I could do that. I love ball. Don't get me wrong. I love talking about it, dream about it, this, that, and other. But I'll let everyone else do their thing. I mean, Mookie Hawkins, that guy, I don't know if that dude ever sleeps, but he coaches here in Buffalo, too, and he's a beat writer, and he does his thing, and he is out there grinding, and he's getting a ton of great content. So shout out to him in particular. Love that guy. Absolute stud.
Troy has a great idea. Just bring a ladder and walk in. They'll let you in. Right? Just bring a ladder. Let's go. Yep. Big Al saying Sabres win.
Final. That's right. Look at that.
Let's go.
Beautiful.
So news on the Bills, injury related. Buffalo Bills opened the 21-day practice window on Maxwell Hairston, our number 1 draft pick in this year's draft, cornerback. 21 days, Jake. Unfortunately, I don't think we'll see him this week. I don't even know if we'll see him in the Chiefs game. Hopefully, maybe a little bit. But even still, it's going to take a while for him. I mean, he got injured early camp, missed a lot of opportunity to get experience. So I feel like they're going to be slow to roll him in. But hey, as long as he can get back in about 3 to 4 weeks and make his presence felt, that's all we can ask for. Pretty exciting news, though, right?
Absolutely. I cannot wait to see this kid out on the field. I mean, just give us a little, maybe a bit of a spark, some juice, whatever. But I think you're absolutely right, Mike. I don't think we'll see him this week, but maybe against KC. And that's a lot of pressure for the young buck, but maybe we will see him against KC at home.
Well, they have to activate him by week 3. So,
right.
So we'll see him for sure. I'm not sure the Chiefs, a little bit. But I can't wait either. I mean, we look forward to seeing him so much after the draft. He's just got amazing speed. Looks like a good cover guy, and we certainly need it at this point in time, especially starting to go up against, you got the Chiefs turning the corner, looking good, great again. So we'd love to have him in that game. But let's see here. Yeah, Matt Perino actually was funny. Let's see, Jake, you have to be going. He is going to the game. Him and Sean.
I will be there. Me and Sean Weston. We'll send you some videos. Don't you worry. Yeah. I got to get back on the Discord. I apologize. My presence has been MIA. I've been following along though. Don't you worry. I'm all up to date with what's going on over there.
Matt Perino on the injury reserve or something. It was funny. He posted this information, but he showed a picture. He's on crutches, and I forget how he hurt himself. Did something to his ankle, I believe. So that's where why Weston's saying that. But some of the other news is Daquan Jones, Josh Palmer, and safety Taylor Rapp did not practice today. Jones was out of a walking boot at a flag football event yesterday, so I guess that's good news. And then, although McDermott said we'll see on Jones and Palmer possibly going on IR, that'll be a minimum of 4 games. Apparently, too, Rapp has been dealing with an injury, knee injury, since training camp. And, I know a lot of us feel like his play has slipped some and maybe, contributed to that. I know if Sean was on here, he'd be like, if they're playing, I'm not giving them any breaks. They need to be playing at a high level. But what's your thoughts there? I mean, obviously, if he's playing injured, it's got to be affecting his play.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, you could see it. I think just as far as like the coverage, explosiveness, all that stuff goes, not saying he was a super explosive athlete before, but last year he was a pretty solid player. He wasn't as much of a liability as he is this year. So to me, I think the injury has certainly affected him. I don't think it's affected his physicality by any means, but I definitely think it's affected his movement. So, and you can tell there's 100% a noticeable difference from this year to last year.
We'll get to your question here in a second, Trey. It's a good question. Just want to finish up the news here. Matt Milano, Curtis Samuel, Dalton Kincaid, Maxwell Hairston, and Terrell Bernard were all limited today in practice. So that's good news. It would be great to see these guys, at least a few of them, coming back. But if they're not ready, I don't want this to be like, I'm worried about the Panthers. I'm telling you that right now. I'm not overlooking them. I'm not overlooking any team. Because that Panther team, they beat the Falcons 30-0. I don't know what happened that day. They whooped them. And then they struggled against the Jets a little bit. But I do know, big news, like you have already said, that their starting quarterback is out. And it's going to be Andy Dalton at the helm for them this week. Let's see here. All right. Let's go to Trey's question real quick. Jake, let me know what you think of it. Do we think McDermott takes over play calling at all?
I don't think so. I don't think so yet, Trey. I feel like he's got to give Bobby Babich some more time here. I know that's crazy to say, right? Because it's like we're running out of time as it is. We're already second in the division here. I know it's only 6 games into the season, but I think he's going to let it play out. I already think he has quite a bit of an influence on that defense anyways. So I don't foresee him overtaking the play calling just yet. But you better believe he's going to be influence the game plan quite a bit throughout the game.
Yeah. And then he says, I'm pretty upset that Palmer is week to week. He has a high ankle sprain and knee. If we thought teams didn't respect our passing game before, yeah, we're definitely in trouble there. That's why it'd be very important to me if Dalton Kincaid can get back. Yeah, because, what happened there? The nice play, Palmer comes out, they throw a nice deep pass to him, and then gets injured. So concerning. Just our luck. But we're going to talk about that wide receiver real quick. And let me go back up to Big L's question or his comment early on. Need to pick up a number one receiver for sure. We can keep and we can keep their defense off the field. Obviously, our defense is struggling. I'll bring up some stats later, but stats are a little boring. They're struggling. We know that. They're probably the worst against the run. And they've been letting number one receivers walk all over them. Well, we had Steph Diggs, 10 catches for like 146. Drake London, 10 catches for 150 something. Just absolutely crazy. And it's funny because in those two games, those were pretty much the only receiver they were thrown to, and we couldn't stop it. So the defensive side of things needs some help. How do you help your defense? Get your offense rolling. Get it clicking. So let's talk about that. I mean, look, back 2 years ago, we made a move for Amari Cooper. If you remember in that trade, we gave up a 2025 third-round pick and a 2026, seventh-round pick, and to the Cleveland Browns in exchange for Cooper. And the Bills received Amari Cooper and a 2025 sixth-round pick. So the big thing there was just we gave up a third-round pick. And it looked to ignite the Bills. But if you really look back and you think about it, the energy came from the firing of Ken Dorsey, right?
Yeah.
Because when Ken Dorsey was fired and Joe Brady took over and he started focusing on the run game.
I don't know if that's – so the Amari Cooper thing, that happened – that was – Joe Brady was already the OC.
Yeah. But
okay.
I think that had a bigger impact is what I'm saying.
I see. I got you. Okay.
Because we were at 6-6 at some point right there, right? And you look back, and Amari Cooper, I think initially he got off to a pretty good start. He'll always be famous for that great throw in a snow game. Josh throws him out over to the left, little screen pass. He's getting tackled, and he scoops the ball to Josh, and Josh, like Superman, dives over the goal line in the snow. It was a beautiful thing. But what's your thoughts, man? I mean, we are November 4th is approaching quickly. We aren't making any moves. And you feel we need to? And I don't know who is out there. You hear all these crazy things, Jake. You hear Jalen Waddle's available. I see some of the podcasts out there. I'm not going to name them. Like Jalen Waddle's available. Garrett Wilson, maybe we can make a deal for him. That interdivision stuff it rarely happens. I know it happened with the the Browns and the Bengals not that long ago this season, a couple of weeks ago, with Flacco going from the Browns to the Bengals and leading his team to a win over Steelers. But that doesn't typically happen. The only one I've really heard and I think has any real traction, if at all, would be Chris Olave from the Saints. Your thoughts, though?
Yeah, I mean, Olave just is coming off a big game last week. Had 6 for 98 and I think 2 touchdowns. What a day for him. The biggest thing I think the Bills are looking at is the cost effectiveness, unfortunately. And that's probably not what a lot of fans want to hear because most fans seem to believe, including myself at times, that the salary cap is not even a real thing. And you can just keep kicking a can down the road and make it happen. I am absolutely all for selling the house and going and getting the guy and making your offense that much better because, gosh, it just right now it feels like we are working way too hard to get points. And I know we said this actually during the Ken Dorsey era too. Last year that everybody eats mentality was great and it has worked. And, I think it can work, but at a certain time, when you are actually down by a score or whatever, you need a guy that you can go to, that you can feed the ball to. So even if you want to go get that number one, still make him more of the focal point than others, but make it still so it's an everybody eats offense. I'm fine with that. Olave would be a great he would be a freaking great trade. To me, I unfortunately, I feel like a trade would have happened during the bye week.
Exactly.
Because that would make most sense, right? Like you bring him in, you get him acquainted, you have a full week of practice under your belt, a full week to acclimate him prior to that with the bye week. So I just, I hate to say it. I don't think it's going to happen. If it were to happen, Olave would be definitely at the top of my list. There's another guy that's actually on his team, and Rashid Shaheed, who I think would make a lot of sense as well. You know, we talk about a separator, a guy that can take the top off of defense. This guy is your guy to go get. I mean, Shaheed is fast as hell. He is primarily a deep threat there in New Orleans, and it would make a lot of sense because you want to talk about cost effectiveness. He's still on his rookie deal. So he's young. He's still on that rookie deal, and he can stretch the field. You would not have any issues getting separation with Rashid Shaheed. Trey, love it. Absolutely. He would definitely force teams to cover two. There'd be a lot of issues there. And, man, it would open up everything. James Cook, as good as he's doing up to this point, he'd have even more of a day against a lot of these teams. So that would be pretty awesome to see. I think that would be a great 1B option if we're not going to sell the house and go get a like A.J. Brown or Chris Olave or, you know, whoever. I think Shaheed would be just gravy. I'm here for it. Let's do it.
Yeah, the Saints receivers are honestly the most realistic. A.J. Brown, come on. Are the Eagles really going to give up on him when they're trying to come off of a Super Bowl? Please, I don't think so. I love what you're saying about Rashid Shaheed as well. One of those two guys. And I'm with you. Sell the farm, man. Give up some serious draft capital and make a play to get one of them. Yeah. But like you said, I feel like it would have happened already. Like, why wouldn't you go into your bye week, make that deal so you have a little more time with that person? It could still happen. I guarantee you, I'm pretty sure you have to think Bean's made the call. Bean has.
I would hope so. Right? Yeah.
He's made the call. And the question is, what are they looking for? Because this is a great opportunity for them. Look, Olave's had the concerns with him is concussions, right? He's had plenty of concussions, but this year has been extremely healthy. And so I'm not sure what they're asking, but we can make that. If we really wanted to, Jake, they can make that happen. Bean can make that happen. I don't think he's going to do it, though, unfortunately. But, looking back, do you think the Amari Cooper was a good – let's look back. Do you think Amari Cooper was a good – I explained to you what the trade was, gave up a third-round pick for him, and did we get enough? And, look, the man's retired now.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, too, that third-round pick for the Browns that we ended up trading to them ended up being Dylan Gabriel, who's their starting quarterback right now. So, yeah, I mean, Amari's retired. He had, 200-something yards with us. Wasn't super effective in terms of the statistics, but he was also dealing with a pretty major injury with his wrist. I guess supposedly there was an opportunity for him to have season-ending surgery, and he opted not to do that. So, obviously there's a reason why the stats maybe didn't align with what they were the previous year, where he went for 1,250 in a Pro Bowl, right? But I think what he did on the field was still enough to the point that he made an impact because he drew that number one corner away from everyone else. So it did allow that offense to operate as an everybody eats offense because you had a number one receiver taking away their best corner for the most part. So I think this is where you get it a little twisted. Now, this year, we have Khalil Shakir, we have Dalton Kincaid. The problem is Kincaid isn't really healthy ever. And Shakir, I mean, is he getting doubled? Is he actually able to catch a pass more than 10 yards down the field? More often than not, no. And it's not totally on him. I think a lot of it is like teams are keyed in on him and, you got to get him the ball somehow, but the only way you're getting them the ball is behind the line of scrimmage and acting as a running back, more or less, not really a slot receiver. So what it does, getting a number one guy, it takes a lot of that pressure off, and then it allows this offense to function as it did last year, maybe even at a higher level, and then you get a guy that can go to in a big-time situation that will make that catch. Unfortunately, with Keon Coleman, he really hasn't turned into that guy, and I want to see it happen. I still have faith that it can maybe eventually happen down the line, but I don't know. I mean, as of right now, at this very moment, he's not. He's a very good complementary receiver, but he's not a number one receiver, a guy that's going to get you 100-yard games consistently. And is that guy out there? Yes. Are you going to have to give up a lot to do so? Absolutely. Brett, so the Tyler Lockett thing, I love Tyler Lockett. I mean, absolute student of the game. I think he'd be an awesome locker room guy. The only issue with him, I feel like, is that he's more of a slot receiver now at this point in his career. He always kind of was more of a slot guy, but He has the numbers. He has the productivity. He can still play. And I think he's actually a much better option than I know you had pitched Tyler Boyd before. Tyler Lockett, definitely a better option than Boyd, in my opinion. But I just feel like for the type of receiver we're looking for, I don't know if he's that guy. I think we need a honestly, I'd go for Shaheed just based on the need right now. Even if you get Shaheed, he's a guy that's a deep threat. He can pull away some of these coverages and whatnot and kind of, we can do a lot there. So I think it makes the most sense to do that. And why not? Let's give it a shot.
Yeah, great point, Jake, about Amari Cooper. Like the stats weren't there, and he hurt that wrist. I think one of if not the first game with us, the second game. I don't think he came over to us with that, but I agree with you 100%. He did seem to take away their number one corner, which opened up the field for everybody else. So that's a great point. Even though the stats were there, he was drawing attention from number one corners. So good stuff, man. I agree. It has to be somebody in New Orleans, one of those receivers, if anything's going to happen. Otherwise, it's going to be some guy that's on his couch, and we're all going to be disappointed.
And it makes sense too with New Orleans. I mean, they're struggling a lot this year. I know they've been in a lot of their games, and I think Rattler's shown some good things, but they're such a young team, and at this point, it makes sense for them to go make a trade because they're going to acquire, picks for the future, and maybe they get more of what they even expect because they're willing to part ways with one of these better players on their roster. So I say shoot for the stars, and if you can't, at least shoot for something.
Yeah, I'm all about selling the farm, man. We got to get to a Super Bowl. We got to get a Super Bowl win, and it's time. Josh Allen's in his prime. Let's go. We talk about Big Al. Great point again, right? We want to keep the defense off the field. Buffalo Bills are ranking third in overall total yards offensively per game at 378 yards per game. They're number one in the rushing game, right? So how do you keep a team off the field? Long drives. I feel we do that, and then we go away from the run. So the run is our ace in the hole right now. We got to stick to the run and get those freaking running backs involved out of the backfield. You got James Cook, great hands out of the backfield. He's a playmaker. Get him the ball in space. Let him make plays. We've seen him do it. Last couple games, I don't think he's gotten a pass out of the backfield. I know for sure the last time he did it, and that was one of the podcasts that was, who was that? One I was talking, it was Fitz and Witt, or one of the media outlets saying, yeah, they need to get James Cook. How are they not getting Cook the ball more? And like people said in the last game, I think he was out of the game the last 12 minutes of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Can't have that. So I love it. Big Al, they can do it right now with what they have. The problem is defenses are making it even harder than ever before. And if they ever get the Bills in like a third and long, they seem to have the blueprint on us, unless Brady switches something up. Again, get the ball out of the backfield, and I think that could correct a lot of things.
For sure. Yeah.
Let me see here what's going on.
I want to talk about this real quick.
Which one?
The Codrington. Sorry.
Yeah, I was going to bring up the same one.
Yes. Brett, great point on this. I also hate it because it's like he's not offering anything else other than that of a returner. And if it's not working, you got to switch it up. And maybe you put just someone back there that's going to secure the football and get you maybe 20 yards at best. So here's the thing with Lockett. I had to look this up because I was curious about it. I wanted to know the last time he actually was like a returner.
Mm-hmm.
He has a punt return like from 2022 and then 2021. But then before that, the last time he actually was like a meaningful returner was in 2019 with Seattle. He returned 13 punts and he returned 14 kickoffs. But I mean, long gone are the days of him being an explosive return man. Like back in 2015, his rookie year, he came into the league and really set the world on fire with how good he was at both punt returning and kick returning. But I don't know if he's that guy anymore, Brett. I don't know if he's lost some speed. He's still an artist when it comes to route running, and he's got great hands. But to me, I just feel like at this point in his career, he's offering, what maybe just a normal average slot receiver would offer. I don't know. I'm not totally sold on it.
I think he says, read the comment above this. I'm thinking he's mentioning this one.
They have been.
Buffalo special teams have been awful this year.
Oh, yeah.
Our punters are averaging the worst average this season.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. And honestly, I think everyone was calling for Matthew Smiley's head, midway through the season last year. I mean, shoot, Tabor is supposed to be this absolute stud of a special teams coach, and it just really hasn't been shown at all. And I know you can't put everything on him, but they really haven't been producing at all. It's been pretty bad.
Yeah. All right, so let's keep our fingers crossed. Again, it's not looking good. If I was a betting man, which I am sometimes, I'm betting the Bills aren't making any move for wide receiver. And I think you're on the same page there, Jake.
Mm-hmm.
Still hope.
You know what they're going to do? They will make a move, Mike. They're going to bring Gabe Davis up from the practice squad.
Okay, Gabe Davis. Yeah, I know we've been talking. People have been talking about that a lot. Or they'll go get Amari. Amari's still out there. That's what's going to happen. We're going to bring Amari Cooper off the couch.
I honestly, I would not mind that. Honestly, I was kind of hoping they'd bring him back in the offseason anyways, and they didn't.
He must just be enjoying the life. He must be enjoying the life with Big Al, honestly, because I feel like his phone has been rung probably a few times. Yeah. We'll see what happens. I want to change to our next topic here, and this is something we talked about in years past, and that's offensive coordinators and defensive coordinators that are either on the field or up in the booth. I want to get the chat's thought on what you think you prefer. For instance, the Bills, both their coaches are offense and DC are up in the booth. Chiefs, they're down on the field, right? And they've set the bar. And then who's another one? Let's see. I think the Eagles have all their guys down on the sideline.
I don't think Fangio is, though. I think he's up in the booth, I want to say.
Think so? Okay, so there are some that have hybrid as well. Some up in the one in the booth, one down. Yep. What was the other one that I had here? I had a couple of them that were definitely. I think the Niners. I think both of them.
Salah's on the field.
What about the Patriots? I think the Patriots with Josh McDaniel and where's the
McDaniels is on the field. Yep.
Yeah.
I think he's always been. And then trying to think. I think who do they have as their DC right now? Is it who the heck's the Patriots DC?
Let's see.
Terrell Williams. I think he is they're both on the field. Yeah.
So let's talk about that. What's your thoughts on why teams take this approach? Let's talk about the good. Why it would be good to have you down on the sideline, and give me some thoughts on why you think it might be better up in the booth.
So I think for an offensive coordinator, you should always be on the field. I think predominantly over the history in the NFL, I can't really remember many that sat up in the booth. I mean, some crazy moments that stick out are when Ken Dorsey had that total flip out moment against Miami where he was in the booth. But then I think he came down for the next game. After that, he was on the field. I think Dable spent some time in the booth, but then he also was back down on the field. I think the biggest thing with the offensive coordinator being on the field is having that face-to-face communication with the quarterback compared to, doing it over the phone or communicating through a headset. I think it's definitely better and more advantageous to have that like one-on-one, responsibility to talk to your quarterback and be able to get in that laptop or the iPad or whatever after every play and being able to watch each and every play, whether it's just a still image or just actual tape that's already been recorded that you can have there right on the sideline. As far as the defensive coordinator goes, this game is so tailored to the offensive side of the ball. I can understand why the DC would want to be up in the booth because you have that bird's eye view and you still have your staff that's also on the field to help, communicate and say what's going on down there, keep those guys intact emotionally, this, that, and other, give the signals to the linebacker. But as the DC being up in the booth, I can understand why you'd want to because you can see everything that's happening from that bird's eye view and makes it a little more advantageous, in my opinion. When you're on the field, such as Spags, I think there's a plus there too because it is like the communication piece, and his defense is very, very meticulous and it is complicated at times. So I feel like with Spags, you got to be 100% on it. You got to know what you're doing. You got to know where, as far as like the blitz packages go and all that different stuff. There's a lot involved with that, and I can understand why he would be on the field, and it's proven successful for sure. But I think when you are up in the booth as a DC, you're a little bit more better off just because you can see everything from that bird's eye view. It gives you the full look of the field. So if I'm the DC, I know this is probably an unpopular opinion. I'd stay up in the booth.
Interesting. For me, I guess I'm just modeling the teams that are successful. Like I'm looking at the Chiefs, I'm seeing Spags on the sideline, and you're right. He just has that dialed in, and his team is adapted to it. But I just feel like, having a guy down there, talking to the team, the whole team, versus getting someone on a mic or a headset, is just, there's something about it, especially when it's an important part of the game.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I'm a fan of being on the field, but I totally get it. I mean, the bird's eye view up above does tell you everything that's happening, but I don't know. These guys are able to do it. Robert Saleh, very successful on the sideline. Spags, very solid on the sidelines. And again, I think if there's, some juice that needs to be injected, these guys being down there at that right time could do that. So I'm a fan of it, them being down on the field, both of them. Hey, if the Chiefs do it, I want to follow the winning ways. That's all I'm saying.
Sure.
Following that model.
Yeah, makes sense to me. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of some of the really good DCs of our era. You think of obviously Spags, Fangio, Buddy Ryan, Belichick. I mean, he was always on the sideline before he was a head coach, and obviously as a head coach. Dick LeBeau, I think he was a sideline. He was always on the sidelines too. Wade Phillips, definitely a sideline guy, maybe in the booth later on in his career. Was Monty Kiffin? I think he was on the sidelines too. So come to think of it, maybe there were more of these successful DCs that were actually on the field as compared to the booth. Kind of interesting when you look at it history-wise.
Yeah, I think the chat's agreeing that most of the chat is agreeing that on the field, much better.
Yeah.
So interesting. So when you watch it on the rewatch, you let us know your thoughts on that one, because that's always been interesting to me. I know we've had that conversation. I think when Dorsey was struggling, we're like, get him on the field. Why isn't he on the field? And that sort of went away. But it just, I don't know. I don't know what brought it to my attention this week, but it was like, you know what? Why are people doing it? Why are they not following the model that's been set by the very good teams, Super Bowl winning teams? I'm following that model all day.
Sure.
Let's see here. Let's see. Weston said Todd Bowles, but he's a head coach, but he runs the defense. So, all right, good stuff there. Next segment here, I want to kind of talk about, what some of the media has been saying out there. And let me go to one here that said, let's see here, Nick Wright. We love Nick Wright, right? Everybody loves Nick Wright, loves that show. I caught him talking to somebody, I forget who he was talking to, and this may be true to some degree. And Chiefs fan, Weston and Chad, you might agree with this. It seems that folks are more comfortable criticizing Mahomes after a loss than Josh Allen after a loss. And that's just not Bills Mafia. It's the media in general. Do you think there's anything to that, Jake?
I would say amongst Bills Mafia, yes. The national media, I don't see it as much. I think there have been more people coming to his defense as of late, for sure, and proclaiming that the Bills need a number one receiver. But, you think of years past. I mean, Josh got laid out on a platter and shot after shot after shot taken at him. And it was really because he was turning the ball over a lot. Since he's limited the turnovers, it's definitely been a lot less. And now they've put the blame on that receiver more so than him. But amongst Bills Mafia, too, especially, we are defending Josh till we die. At least before we had the interceptions to blame. But now
you better not say anything negative about Josh. And let's be real, Josh, he didn't have great games the last two. You should be able to criticize him to some degree. He is the captain of the team. He makes the most money. He's that guy, and he needs to take some blame when they lose and they play that bad. But I do feel like when Mahomes was losing, same situation, when they lost Tyreek, they were playing without stud receivers. And when he'd lose, he'd get a little more criticism. So I don't know. It's because he's won Super Bowls, or if Josh Allen in the public eye is, because let's be real. I mean, I don't see a lot of Pat Mahomes. I see him a lot on commercials, but when you compare them speaking to the public, Josh just comes across as such a nice guy. You got to root for the guy. And I have people, that I work with, people that we've seen comment in our show here that they're different fan bases, and they love Josh. They're always pulling for Josh Allen. So I don't know. There might be something to that. Not as much as probably Nick Wright's making, but let's see here. Let me talk. John Robert, good to see you, man. Love when you join us out there. Let's see here. Yep, good to see you. 3 different defensive players coming back. Let's speak for yourself about Nick. I'll tell you what, it's entertaining. It's entertaining. And it's just like when my wife's watching The Housewives and such, I'll stop in a little bit and I'll watch. And I'm like, it's entertaining. It's entertaining. And that's what Nick's going for, obviously. But he's a big Chiefs fan. Come on now. Chad the Chiefs fan. He can't stand Nick. All right. And then Weston says, I have a love-hate relationship with that guy. And yeah, John Roberts, Josh was only 15 and 26. You got to take some blame, right? You got to take some blame, for sure. But I will say this, if you come in negative, you come in hot on any podcast about Josh Allen, you'll see your subs drop 10% real quick.
That's true. That is true.
Anyhow, so let's see. Let's go to another one that I actually really enjoyed. Actually thought it was pretty interesting. So it was the Speakeasy show, and that's with LaShawn McCoy. By the way, he does a great job on these podcasts. And he's with Emmanuel. Is it Acho? Is that how he says his name?
Emmanuel Acho. Yeah.
Acho. Okay. And Acho said that a wise man once told him, good is the enemy of great. People get content on being just good. And that's what he thinks about the Buffalo Bills. The Bills are really good, but not sure they will ever be elite. And then he repeated, good is the enemy of great. Are we just so content at being good, Jake, and we're not making that big push to get that player to take us over the top? Are we not selling out like we should to get Josh Allen the weapons? Sure feels that way.
I think they love the guys they have in the locker room, but the problem is what they do on the field seems to differ from those feelings, because you look at these situations. I mean, you go to that Atlanta Falcons game where it was 4th and 3 and we elected to punt the football instead of going for it. Does that really tell you we have a lot of faith in our offense? We can win this matchup, no problem. No, not at all. If we had a number one receiver, like a true number one, such as a Chris Olave, would we be going for it? I think there's definitely a better chance that we would be, right? Yep. So to me, like, you could say that all you want, but when the actions don't really reflect, or when the words don't reflect the actions on the field, I think there's an issue there. And maybe it's something they don't want to necessarily admit. And maybe he has made some calls and he's tried to get these trades to go through and they just haven't gone through. We don't know what's going on behind the building or what behind the scenes in the building. But yeah, I think that's where my issue lies for sure.
Okay. Trey saying Mahomes had a better supporting cast for almost his entire career. Almost. A couple years ago. I mean, let's be real. These guys have gone, what is it, 6 straight AFC championship games?
Yep.
Would this be their 7th in a row?
That's right.
Incredible. And it would, if they go to the Super Bowl, then they ruin the only thing the Bills that we have going for us. We went to 4 straight. Now they could go to 4 straight. Not only did they go to 4 straight, they won at least
they've
one
won
or
them.
Two of those.
Yeah.
They just lost last year's, but they won the 2 previous. So hoping they don't get there. Sorry, Chad. Weston, I want us to hold on to something, please.
Right.
But yeah, Trey. So yes, when you got Tyreek Hill and Kelsey in his prime, oh my goodness, good luck stopping that. But there's been a couple of years, and now they're getting right again when they got Worthy and they got Rice back. By the way, someone dropped Rice in our fantasy football league. I snagged the man up and inserted him this week, and they go right to him already. I'm like, wow, crazy. Let's see here.
8th in a row. Wow.
8th in a row this would be?
Is that right? Yeah, that is.
You sure? Who's saying that? Who's saying that?
Yeah, we're talking. When did it all start? 2018? No, they lost to New England, right? In 2018, 2019. That was their first Super Bowl appearance with against the Niners, and they won, right? And then 2020, it was against the Buccaneers. Am I wrong here?
I don't know, Chad or Weston.
I want to say it was 7.
Just fact check that. It feels
Bengals Rams. You're right, Steve. Yep.
You're saying this would be their 8th if they make it this year, 8th in a row. That's insane. It's either 7 or 8. 7 in a row.
7 in a row. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Trey. Nick is a great take artist because there's always a grain of truth. I do agree with that for sure. Steven out there. Steven saying should have got DK Metcalf before the season. Oh man.
Wouldn't that be something, man? I was hoping for something like that too, for sure. Unfortunately, here we are. Didn't happen. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So
crazy.
Chad's saying it's the 8th. Yep. All right. I gotta trust the Chiefs guys for sure. They would know. So good stuff there, guys. John, we kind of talked about early on about some of the injuries and who you think will be inactive. So you're saying inactive. Let's see here.
Yeah, you're right too. By the way, Chad. Yeah,
because
it was New England, KC, KC, Tennessee, KC, Buffalo, KC, Cincy, KC, Baltimore, KC, Buffalo. Yeah, that's pretty incredible.
That is amazing, and this would be their 4th straight Super Bowl.
Yep.
And what, 5 out of the last 6 or something? It's just insane. That's what I'm saying. Follow the blueprint, man. I'm like getting my coaches on the sideline. We're gonna do exactly what they do.
Yeah, right.
And somebody's got to be out there studying Spags. I mean, can't be all secret. Like, come on, watch the film over the past couple of years, see what he does, and inject some of that into your defense. John, we mentioned like Daquan Jones, Josh Palmer, Rapp did not practice today. Jones was out of a boot, but then McDermott said we'll see if Palmer and Jones go on IR. So it doesn't sound like they're anywhere near playing if he's saying that. Rapp's from dealing with an injury. So who's going to inactive? One of those. And then you got Matt Milano, Samuel, Kincaid, Hairston. They all were limited in practice. I don't think Hairston's active at all. Kincaid, probably. Samuel, never know what Curtis. The guy's hurt all the time. So I'm going to say no on Curtis just because every time I think he's coming back, he's not. And then Milano as well. I just don't think they're going to rush him. That pec seems to be flaring up every time he gets back into action.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. So let me give you a couple other takes here, and then we'll go to the chat. So Buffalo Plus podcast, give them a shout out. Great little podcast. Not a little podcast, they're a big podcast. And the Buffalo airwaves. No one respecting our receivers. I think that's obvious. I think Trey said that plenty of times. The blueprint's out there. Nobody is respecting our receivers. They said 50% of the time teams are now blitzing because of that. And we saw it. We struggled in that Atlanta game. Picking up the blitz, It was like, are you kidding me? It's almost as if we never have seen a blitz come our way before. And they also said, again, they reiterated James Cook needs to be getting the ball more and not taken out of the game at the most crucial time. So, Jake, I think that's obvious. I don't think anyone's respecting our receivers. And I forgot to mention Coleman. Yeah, Coleman hasn't turned the corner, and he's also had discipline issues with the team. Showing up late for, I don't know, meetings and stuff like that. That's screwed up being a second-year dude, man. You've got to be better than that.
Yep. You got it. Yeah, you just – and you talk about, this culture and preaching good culture and stuff like that. And it's like, this is supposed to be one of your leaders. Second year, taking another step, everything looks so good in training camp. He put on some weight. He's bigger, like looking good. He's looking fast. He can catch the football. And I don't know, man. Listen, we got to see it.
How can you not get a 6'4", 215, 20-pound dude who's played basketball, has a great leaping ability? How can you not get that guy the ball more? Like, just on a quick slant, you would think you'd be able to hit that all the time. The quick slants
is what bothers me the most, too, because, like, last year, before he went out with that injury, we were starting to master that, and that was something special for sure. You went inside with that big body, and he does have, like, that breakaway speed. Like, the game speed is there. It is there. I know a lot of people want to crap on him and stuff. They see these highlights of him, running on a ladder and everything. It doesn't look great. But gosh, his game speed can be really good. By the way, he used to return punts at Florida State. So, and he took a few to the house. I think you get you get the ball in his hands. Like, he can make things happen. You got to do it.
How are they not getting it? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't like how they do the design plays for him. Go run up the left, go run up the right. We're going to throw you the ball, 50-50 ball. We'll throw it chest high. Easy play for the defender. Not even taking advantage of his height and his leaping ability. Come on. Get some plays in there for him. But again, I am concerned about his discipline issues. I guess the last media take that I have was from the Herd, Colin Cowards. He's basically saying, usually a coach and a player, like a quarterback, they get that if it's going to happen, they get it they get it within 5 years. 5 years, Jake. And it's just kind of, I think he's just playing, like, I didn't much listen to all of it, but if I'm listening to that message, it might be time for McDermott to move on, like people have been saying, right? Yeah. Fire McDermott. And at some point, how long do you go? Now, look, you can talk about Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin now has been hasn't had a losing season in forever. And he certainly hasn't done much with that team since he won the Super Bowl. But the thing is, he's got a Super Bowl. Same with the coach of, who's the coach there? John Harbaugh, right? Got a Super Bowl. So it's hard to let those guys go once they win a Super Bowl, no matter how long it takes. But here we are with McDermott. What is this now? His 8th year?
Year 9, actually.
Year 9?
Year 8? Yeah, something like that.
Well, he started in 2017, right? He was there the year before Josh was drafted. So we're in year 8. Year 8.
Crazy.
He's been with Josh for 7. And this team right now doesn't look any better than last year's team. As a matter of fact, I don't think they're as good as last year's team, what I'm seeing right now. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on that? I mean, McDermott, we hear it all the time. Fire McDermott. He's not getting us to that next level. And our response is always, well, who else would you hire right now? Like, you don't want to blow it up there. You would never blow it up there in mid-season. But if this happens again where we don't make the playoffs, Jake, you've been one of those guys. I've been one of those guys that says, no, you can't fire McDermott. He's just a good coach. But is good enough? Is it good? Just like H.O. or whatever the gentleman's name was.
Yeah.
We got to become elite. What do we got to do to become elite? Make a move. So what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, the culture that he has built, no question, it's been great. I think the players want to play for him. He has instilled something that hasn't been here in Buffalo in decades. I mean, really, it's been decades. It's been that long. So, and I think we all need to appreciate that. Absolutely. But I'm kind of getting sick of it, Mike, where it's like, man, do you guys remember when we were in the drought era and this, that, and other? You know, you keep saying that over and over again. It's like, man, like, this has been going on since, I mean, really, we've been competitors since 2020. You know, we've been in the dance since then, like really in the dance. And, you know, insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again. And I get it. You could say the same thing about Marv Levy, but at least with Levy, we got the 4 straight Super Bowls. Like, how are you going to fire that guy, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So with McDermott, you know, as good as he is, he's been a great regular season coach. I don't know. I think you're still a playoff team no matter who's coaching this team. So at least switch it up a little. Like, as long as Josh Allen's your quarterback, you're going to be in the playoffs 100%. So maybe you do. Maybe you switch it up and you go get someone else. You get an offensive guru. I don't know. A young offensive mind. How cool would that be? Maybe you partner him with Josh and they're like winning Super Bowls left and right.
But do you clean house completely? Does Bean go as well? You got to put some of this on Bean.
You do. I think you do. I think you honestly, you know, I think there is a bit of a disconnect between him and McDermott at times. Like, McDermott wants certain guys in the building and Bean doesn't necessarily get those guys all the time. I think they're on the same page generally, but there's been situations where I'm sure McDermott wanted one guy and Bean takes another guy. You know, I think that has happened. And there's been some rumors about that swirling around. So I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah. John, I wanted to mention, you said Kean's being judged badly too, since he's only, a second year guy. And I agree. What I'm saying is, I'm not putting it all on him. I'm saying, why is Brady not dialing some stuff up better than what he's, these routes that they're having him run? Big dude, go on some slants. Hard to defend that. Good luck doing that.
Oh, yeah.
And, so not all on him, but the discipline issues, John, very concerning, right? If I'm a second year player, I'm at attention. Yes, sir. I'm at every meeting on time, right? And there's something going on there. So, Chad, you're breaking my heart. Breaking my heart. Check of your release cam. I mean, everyone's picking up.
Someone's got to say it.
Release cam. I know it has to be said every show.
We're going to get him on and interview him soon. I promise. We're going to make it happen.
Sean made the point that would the Pagulas and Bean pull the trigger on McDermott? And I'm saying, would Pagula pull the trigger on both of them? Because obviously, I can't put this all on McDermott. You have to have some talent around you. You have to put that a little bit on Bean. But I don't know. We'll see. I think getting to that point, though, Jake, change has got to be made. Because I can't deal with another rinse and repeat. Man, we almost get there again. We got our hearts broken one more time. And who knows? The way they're playing right now, they're 4-2. Again, I have to remember it's 4-2.
Right.
Let's keep it going here. But this will be a big be a big game against the Panthers because they're not going to be easy. Even with Andy Dalton starting, we already said earlier in the show he's got a pretty good record against us. Look what Flacco did. I mean, this is just proof again. I meant to mention this is just proof again what a number one receiver will do for you. Jamar Chase got something like 23 or 24 targets that game. Flacco just looked, I mean, the offensive line was protecting Flacco. Flacco was moving, and he looked like he was in his prime again. And that was just a result of I threw everything to Chase. Dude, it was insane to see that game, and it just shows you Flacco's still very talented. And if you put some weapons around him, put those same weapons around Josh, and oh my God, what's going to happen? I mean, incredible.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cut.
Chad, that's awesome, man. Going to college game day there. Yeah, Mizzou and Vandy. How about those two squads? I mean, shoot, Vandy's 10th in the country right now. Mizzou, what are they, 15th or something like that? They're crushing it too. You got to be fired up about that. Your Mizzou Tigers. Got to love it. This is the best squad they may have fielded since the Pinkle days. I love it.
Let's see here. Weston saying, I know this because this is what we had with Marty Schottenheimer. Good coach. Then could just never win the playoffs. And if I remember correctly, didn't Schottenheimer have a really good year and they cut him? Like did
yeah. Well, he was 14-2 with the Chargers, actually. It was 2006.
Okay, yeah. There was something. I thought it was him as well. Yep. Yeah, I mean, you're right. So just by saying that, you're making me even push me over the edge a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, Schottenheimer was great with the Chiefs, and then he basically the same thing with the Chargers. They had a couple rough years. Drew Brees kind of turned into his own, and then they got rid of him. He went to New Orleans. And Phillip Rivers came in. They had LT MVP season, Antonio Gates. They were loaded on defense, and they lose to New England in the I think it was the AFC Championship game. And then right after that, they fired him. Crazy. Would have never expected it after a 14-2 season. Yeah. But yeah, it's like the same thing. Wild. But you know what's crazy though, Mike? The following years after that, they had Norv Turner. Then I know they had what's his name? The coach right now for Tennessee. I can't think. It's escaping me. Anyways, they went to a few AFC divisional titles, and I think I don't know if they actually went to the championship again, but they were still able to get back to the playoffs with a new coach. That's my point, essentially, right? Mm-hmm. So as long as you have the right personnel, you have the quarterback at least, you're going to get there. But maybe you need a different philosophy. Switch it up, right?
Yep. Totally agree. Well, Jake, that's about a wrap for this week. I mean, we've had a lot of complaints that we go over the hour too much. I'm just saying, so we get we get feedback from our audience, and one of the complaints is we go too long. Always. So, right, we're going to keep it to an hour tonight. We appreciate everybody. I'd love for you to take just a second and smash that like button for us. The Mafia Midway, your midweek therapy session. So we appreciate all of you that come out here. Big Al, some people that we haven't seen in a while. John Roberts, always. Chad the Chief, Weston, Trey out there, everybody. And Trek, I don't know. I get happy to see you, but you come in, he makes one little cut cam and he's gone.
I know.
And then you won't see him the rest of the show. I don't know if he's listening. I do want to say thank you to our sponsor. Again, Junglecat Radio, bringing radio back, the best of the 80s. You got to catch that show. Download the app on your phone, and there's a link in the description of the show. It takes you right to the website. You can listen to this on the website while you're working on your computer. It is fantastic. 80s music, something about having radio personalities just in your ear again, and something soothing about it. Jake,
love it.
Fun show. Love having a show with you. And then I really like this therapy session that we have midweek through.
You got to have it, Mike. And honestly, it's nice to have the Wednesday show back. We used to go hard. I mean, we were doing multiple shows a week. So good to get back on the airwaves. I appreciate everyone in the chat. Sorry we couldn't get to all the comments, but we see them out there. And Weston, yes, Mike McCoy. Mike McCoy is the name. Shout out Mike McCoy. But yeah, we'll see what happens on Sunday. I think they cover the spread and they win.
All right.
Boom. There you go.
It'll be the first time, 7.5 points. Chad the Chief coming over with Super Chat. Chad,
incredible.
We greatly appreciate you so much, man. You know that. So thank you. Thank you so much. By the way, join us in the Discord. It's free. I have to put the link. I keep forgetting to put the link. It's absolutely free. All these great guys that are in the chat, most of them are in the Discord. So go. You can talk 24/7 about any sport you want to talk, and they'll be there. And thanks again, Chad. We greatly appreciate you. Really, really do. You're just you're helping keep the lights on here at Nickel City Mafia. We appreciate you, buddy.
He's the man.
He is. Therapy is needed. Yes, Troy. I think for everybody, but yeah, we've needed it here.
Troy, I won't even get into your Dolphins, but I'm sure you need a little bit of therapy as well. We appreciate you though, Troy. Absolutely. All day.
All right, man. Jake, thank you again. Really appreciate you getting on the show. Just love working with you as always. 4.5 years, my friend. 4.5 years. I know. We've been doing this.
It's crazy.
And thanks to Chad and everyone else in this chat. We keep it going. So everyone, we'll talk soon. Be ready to have the Red, White, and Ruthless on Friday, the pregame show. And then we'll have Jake and I, and maybe some of the other guys will be on the postgame show. And again, this show, I mentioned this last week. You never know who's going to be on here. Well, 2 people are perfect for the Mafia Midway. So this week it's Jake and I. Who knows who it'll be next week? Somebody will be here. Could be us again. Could be Brett. Could be Sean. Could be a combination of us. Always 2. So thank you guys. Let's go, Jake. Let's go talk about some strategy that we can give the Buffalo Bills here in the next couple of days to get this win. Go Bills.
Go Bills.